Evening, guys. I do think we are live now. If someone can just chuck me a quick text or put something in the chat bar just to let me know that you can hear me fine, everything's working okay. If you'd also want to put in where you're calling from in the chat bar as well, that'd be great. I'm going to give it around 30 seconds or so. So if you've not already done so, this is the perfect time to text, call, do whatever you need to do to get your team on the call. Tonight, I am really fired up tonight. I want to deliver some information that I really think can help benefit you moving forward. And obviously, what I always do on this Sunday platform is share some of the old training footage from the top earners, and really solidify what we're trying to do as a group moving forward. And I'm trying to develop this into a large organization. And to me, to Organo Gold right at the very beginning was the simplicity. The simplicity is there, okay? And there's no need to reinvent the wheel with this, okay? And what I want to look at today is just making sure that we're doing those small intricates perfect, okay? You don't have to do a lot of things. You just want to get good at doing small, simple tasks. And one task that I want to stress the importance of is the Organo Gold Dave Caffey website, which is our online training academy. Okay, that is such a massive platform for not only new starters, for people who want to re-engage and get back starting. Okay, we get questions time after time asking specific questions that are all answered on that training platform. So you want to make sure that not only you're using that effectively, but you're teaching your new business partners to do the same. And in the same light there, this is just a few things that I want to bring up just before we move on to the main body of the training. Is the back office. The back office has actually changed today. So it's great saying this, but get confident and comfortable with that back office, okay? It's your place where you're running it from and where you work that business from. And you just want to make sure that you're confident, and you're comfortable using that, okay? It's like any business, it's going to require a little bit of work around that. So get yourself confident with that. Get yourself on the back office and on that OG Dave Caffey and get really working with that. And the main body tonight is what I want to look at is, first of all, as commitment to the system, okay? And what I found and in my history with network marketing, the problem with what we've got is that it's too easy to get involved. It's too easy to get involved in terms of it doesn't cost a lot of money. There's no real wallet on the line, should we say. And to me, that means it's so easy to get out. I mean, with low investment, it becomes very easy to quit. And many people just do that before they've even gave the 4 steps a real chance. And the reality is that this business model is proven to work, okay? As I say all the time, it's worked for me, it's worked for thousands of partners, it worked for you, okay? The only real difference between what I've done and what you could possibly do is my consistency. I've done nothing special. I'm a normal average kid, but I've been consistent over time. And that is the key with this. It doesn't require anything, any special skills, I don't believe. It's just a strong belief and a strong why. And it's ridiculously simple. And all you really need to do is have that commitment to the system, okay? To the system. And for me, I talk about commitment and consistency, but commitment to me is doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the mood you said in it has left, okay? And it happens. You're going to be really pumped up, fired up, excited when you join up, when you get started, and that can disappear. And the only thing that I stress is if you've got a job now, show up to that job every single day, no matter what mood you're in. Whereas with this, it can definitely take a back seat. And for me, all I say, we can't tell you to do anything, okay? It's a voluntary army, is this. We be here 18 months from now, this brand will go the distance in the UK. And all I'm saying is be here 18 months from now. And don't just be here and post on the Facebook group and post the odd Facebook status. Work the system, okay? And that's just it. And work on yourself, work on that system. And that for me is massive, okay? And you've got to be committed to that. And what you want to look at and what I want to talk about tonight is growing and developing as a leader. Okay, and again, I look back to when I started, I was not a leader. I was definitely in a job mentality where I worked for an hourly rate. And the thing with this gig is you've got to look at also your self-image. I mean, this is what people typically struggle with, I find, and it can be a shock to the system when you're not prepared for what's called rejection, where people say no, people give you excuses of why they're not getting started, and you've got to get confident with that. Okay, it's just the way it is in this, and work through that. Okay, and listen, I've got friends who should be diamonds in this business, who should be sapphires with me right now, who said no. And that's just the way it is, okay? It doesn't matter. You just got to work through the numbers. And what I want to look at quickly is, obviously, we are now starting to work towards and start breaking sapphires in the business. And what I want to look at tonight is just what it takes to go through that route, okay? And that is what I explain and call the first leadership position. And for me, I'm just confirming people can hear me okay, guys. Is it all up and running? Yeah, guys, perfect. So yeah, we want to look at this sapphire. This is definitely the first leadership position. Obviously, myself, Louise, and Ben have done that now. And this all ties into the leadership then, okay? And don't get into that manager or boss mentality, okay? Because a boss, we've all had bosses. They tell you what to do, whereas a leader models the behavior that needs to be done to make this work, okay? And I always say this, lead by example. And this, to me, is the most violated role in network marketing. Okay, it's unethical to say to somebody, go and do your 4 CGMs, or go and do the coffee sales script, go and do the sapphire, or go and do the sampling. If you're not doing it, it's go and do the star achiever is another example. And a boss and a manager will say, you go and do that, whereas a leader says, let's go and do it together. And the leader sets the pace, and trust me with this, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And how to get people to do what you want is, what I want you to do before we go into the full body of the training is, ask yourself 2 questions. Is look at a leader who you look up to a leader who you want to be like, and what attributes do they have, and write those down. Take some time now, I hope you're taking notes, write it down of what attributes they tend to have. Are they consistent? Do they speak well? What do they do? Write these down, right? Take some time now to write these down. And the second question you want to then ask yourself once you've written those down is, do you have and demonstrate those attributes? And if you don't have those attributes, that's what you want to work on as a leader. And that's one thing that I had to work on. No doubt Ben's had to work on it, and other leaders on the call have had to work on themselves more than anyone. And the question that I always ask, and Steve Martin brought it up in a training a couple of weeks ago, is would you want to be sponsored by yourself? You know what I mean? You've got to want to know that. And we go on and on about the 4 steps. And even when Holton Buggs is gonna get on tonight and share some archive training, he's going to talk about the 4 steps again and again and again, because you want to follow that course until you're successful. There's a reason why the compensation plan's paying out so much money. There's a reason why it's the #1 ranked momentum company in the business right now, is because it's got a simplistic method of operation that anybody can do. And that's the key in this. That is the key, that we're taking a simple universal product. We've applied it to a system that works. It's proven. We're not guinea pigs, and you go at it. And it's great that we're bringing the numbers in. It's great that we're moving forward as a group, but we need to make sure that we're using and we're applying that 4-step system. And you've got to also then, you're going to start seeing that you want to start working with the willing, okay? Care about those people that care about and have commitments to what we're doing. And you do this by, you're going to work with 95% of the people in your organization by group, and you're going to work with 5% of the people one-on-one. And these are the people that are going out there showing the plan. These are the people that are going out there and sampling every day. These are the ones that are going out there and they've got the 10 customers, okay? And you want to work with fewer people, but you want to work deeper with those and invest more time into them and recognize and reward them. It's just doing the simple things. I've got a quote in front of me by John Titoris. He says, why have a new excited distributor wait a week to get the product when you can sell them 2 boxes? Little simple tasks like that, where in step 1 of the 4-step system, it says wholesale 2 boxes. Little things like this are going to make the big difference long term when we're moving forward. So what I want to also look at is, excuse me, is Well, you listen to Holton tonight. I'm gonna bob this on that because I don't want to keep us all night. I'm really excited about what we're doing right now, but I just want to stress the importance. And I've spoke to a few people tonight of this 4-step system. And once people recognise that this is the way, this is how it works, and this is what we're doing, this group will just build and build and build and build, and we will start breaking more sapphires. We will start creating more success stories, because everyone I've spoke to who's gone sapphire worldwide has applied that system. And for me, that is easy to do, but it's so easy not to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on the training by Holton. Take notes from this. And one tip that I want to give tonight to everybody is, listen, it's great taking the time out to get on the call. Okay, take great notes, but then you want to look at maybe 3 or 4 points. I take 3 points from any training that I do, and I go and apply it tomorrow. I don't want our group to get into what I call the MLM professors, or people who want a PhD in network marketing, because that's not going to build the group, and that's not going to build your business. It's great to have personal development, don't get me wrong, bettering yourself, but the key is in the application. Most people want to learn it and then go and teach it, whereas the middle bit, which is the application and go and doing it, is the most important thing. And that's, again, I refer to Ben all the time. Ben will take any command or instruction and go and apply it. If I say to Ben, go and show that plan 4 times a week, go and get Star Achiever on the 1st of the month, guess what he does? He doesn't ask questions, he goes and does it, because I'm not going to lead him down a path that I don't truly believe will make him successful. So we're going to bob this on now, guys, so you can hear this loud and clear. This is Holton Buggs, taken, if you want to write it in your notes, it's archived from June of last year. So if he starts giving dates or anything specific to that time, I just want you to listen to the content. So here we go.
4 steps is very simple, but it doesn't mean that you get it within your first day. There's a lot of psychology around the 4 steps if you really understand the psychology behind the 4 steps and the purpose behind it. The purpose behind it. I want you to understand things that are genius are simple in their explanation. The 4 steps are genius. They're simple in its explanation, okay? But there's a philosophy behind it that has governed the growth of this company from where it was, to almost $1 billion in sales. Okay, and so that's what I want you to understand, that you can do it too. They took a hold of it, and you saw the work ethic that they put in place. The month that they went diamond, I think they did combine 72 or 78 CJMs that month. They had never done that many CJMs before. And one of the critical things that I want to tell everybody is this here. You know, you've heard me do a training before on, are you building on sand, or are you building on solid foundation? Are you building your house, your business on sand, or are you building it on a solid foundation? Okay. One of the things I had to talk with Chad and Natita about was, hey, listen, don't ever come to me talking about, I want to go diamond. I don't want to hear about diamond. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about emerald, diamond, and pen levels. It's not that those are not important. They are. What I want to talk about is, I want to talk about the foundation. I want to make sure that your foundation of diamond is solid. So let's talk about foundation. Focus on building the foundation. And once you lay the foundation, you'll notice that diamond will come. But when it comes, it's going to be strong. It's going to be solid. It's going to be there. And matter of fact, the month that they went diamond, they didn't even know that they went diamond, because they didn't set a goal for a diamond that month. They just worked. They worked. They put the 70-something CJMs into their business. That month, they got zoned in. They got completely laser focused. And what they did is they just ran as fast as they could, and they never looked at the time clock. They ran as fast as they could. I want you to imagine running as fast as you could, as you can. And I want you to imagine you're not paying attention to the clock. You're giving it all that you have. See, when you do that and you sprint like that for a short period of time, they did this for 30 days. Okay? Now, they put some good work in a couple months before that as well. But they sprinted for 30 days straight. They never looked at the time clock. He's in one place, she's in another place. And when Organo Gold says, hey, listen, the race is now, we have to terminate the race, 2 days later, they looked up in the back office. It said Diamond. They called me up. They said, Mr. Bugs, we got some good news and bad news. The good news is, yeah, we went Diamond, didn't even know it. The bad news is we still didn't reach our goal because they weren't focused on Diamond. Okay. So what I'm asking you is, can you do the same thing? Can you sprint? Can you sprint? During that sprint, you're going to have a lot of stories. All the stories. I asked them some of the advice that they had gotten. You heard we had Black Diamond Ivan Tapia that was on that panel as well. And guys, if you missed that, that's one that I think that we've got to bottle that one up, put it somewhere on the OrganoGold website so people can re-listen to that one because it's so valuable. I mean, now we appreciate our diamonds, but you did see a clear difference between what a Black Diamond has gone through in their thought process and a diamond. And it's not to put the diamonds down. It's really more to elevate what it takes to go Black Diamond, because the responses and the clarity that Ivan Tapia answered those questions with, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect the way he engaged in those questions. That's why you've got to be at these events. That's why you've got to be at the events. Ivan Cisco said, some of y'all say you don't need the rah-rah. He says he needs it. He's a diamond, brand new diamond. He needs it. I can tell you this. I'm the VP of sales of one of the fastest growing companies in the world. I need it. I'm addicted to it. I've got to be around that stuff. If I go too many months and I don't see a big group of OrganoGold people holding up ones, for me it feels like, you leave the house and you may leave your wedding ring home, or you may leave your wallet, or you may leave, for some of you, you may even leave your iPhone. These days, leaving your iPhone is like the worst thing in the world that can happen. You feel empty. That's how I feel when I'm not around some OG people. I'm addicted to being around some OG people. I'm just addicted to it. Okay, and sometimes I've got to go get me a fix. That's, if there's an addiction, that's my addiction. I've got to go get me a fix. I talked about my story on stage there, and I talked about how these meetings, and I've been in this industry for this year will be 24 years. Okay, and I talked about my addiction to events and how I had an insatiable appetite. It was completely unsatisfied. I could never satisfy my appetite for more knowledge. I never satisfied my appetite for more association. I never satisfied my appetite for listening to CDs and tapes. And back then, it was no web videos. We didn't have videos at our fingertips like that. And I wish back then that we had those, we had the VHS stuff. You had to rewind them, and the tapes would jam up all the time, cassette tapes and stuff. And it makes me sound old. I started networking at a very young age, and been doing it 24 years. And like I told everybody, I started when I was 3 years old, so I'm not that old. But today, you've got the information right here at your fingertips, okay? Right here at your fingertips. And I want to talk to you about having that information at your fingertips, but I also gave you, I said, 3 tools that you need to make sure you have. As you're putting together your story, that journal, How I Went Diamond, we call it the What Am I Doing Right journal, okay? You should be logging in. You know what's going to be in there? A lot of your pain, a lot of your hurts. See, some of you are going to log in here. This is the day I had 2 of my personals quit on me. This is how I felt that day. This is what I was wearing that day. This is what I decided to do. The next page is going to be on, these are the next people I prospected after my 2 quit. The next thing that's going to be in there is the new person that you brought in who went sapphire faster than the first 2 even quit. See, the journal's not over, just with the bad hurt and pain. The journal's over with the victory. Okay? The journal is over with that victory, but you've got to identify, what am I doing right? Okay, what am I doing right? And so what I recognize is that business goes in cycles. And so I recognize, because we're in the leadership development business and not the leadership stagnation business, let's reach down deeper. Because some people say, you know what? I'm not a diamond. There's hundreds of diamonds. I'll never have a chance to speak. No. Well, we put emeralds on stage. Let the emeralds speak. Okay? That's who we went to the movies with. Everybody thinks, it's going to be diamonds who can only get to associate with Holton and Shane and John and Jose and Blanca. No. It was consultants who were with us. They were superstars. Superstars. We rented out the Cine Bistro entire theater with 121 seats that we rented out, and these were the plush lazy boy seats that would recline, and they had the nice cup holders on the side and the nice wood grain food trays that are right in front of you, with a nice 5-star menu that we were able to order, and all the food and all the drinks and everything that we wanted. But most importantly, we had it to ourselves. The superstars were there. We went out and saw the preview of the X-Men movie. I don't know which version it was, but it was X-Men. It was incredible, 3D, and we're throwing popcorn in there. Nobody's getting mad because it's all OG distributors. Before the movies came on, it was loud. Everybody's having fun and talking, and these servers looking at us like, who are these people? Who are these people? You don't act like this in the movies, but when you're young, rich, and free, you act the way you want to act. There is no what we call political correct activities. When you're young, rich, and you're free, you act with respect and you treat people with respect. But we don't conform to any particular way of acting. Well, we went in and you want to talk, you talk loud. You want to throw popcorn at your buddy, and I was throwing popcorn at Kim Bernstein and Emmanuel Bernstein and trying to act like it was somebody else. But you know what? That's what it's all about. That's why we build this business. Okay? All you had to do was be a superstar, and you could have been there with. You didn't have to go diamond. Superstar. There's no excuse. Next time, see what we'll do if you do it. If you do it, we're going to rent out every movie theater that they have there. I think they may have had 8 separate theaters. We'll rent them all out. Okay, you just qualified to be there with us. Okay, so but that's a part of what am I doing right, Jonah? I look back and say, you know what? We recognize people at the lower levels. Why? Wave 2 is here. Wave 2 is to do it again, but to do it bigger and to do it better. Okay? Henry Ford said, failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Now, you say, well, what do you mean failure if we're one of the fastest growing companies out there in the world? Yeah, but there's a lot of things that we didn't accomplish. I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, my plans for OrganoGold, we should have been almost twice as big as we currently are. I feel like we're behind. Yeah, we've got hundreds of diamonds, but right now I feel like we should have over 1,000 diamonds. So those are some failures that I personally experienced because my dreams and my goals are huge. They are big. They're gargantuan. When I go to sleep at night, I need 2 pillows, okay, because my dreams are so big. My dreams can't fit on 1 pillow, okay? That's why I got a double king-size bed because my dreams are so big, and that's how you got to get. You're going to have to get that way. So when I look at what we've done, some of you look at the diamonds, oh, you're so privileged. Your life is so great and perfect. And sometimes, you know what, when I look at myself and talk to Erlene, and as we have talks, honey, yeah, we're doing okay, but man, we're behind. We don't have enough people who are debt-free. We didn't have enough people to pay. Yeah, we may have had 13, 14 people this year pay cash for their houses, but, honey, we should have had 100 people to walk in and pay for their house cash. Yeah, we've got hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people on the Benz Club, but, honey, we should have Mercedes-Benz calling us, telling us that they don't have any more black paint because OrganoGold is making everybody buy these Mercedes-Benzes, and we ran out of black paint. That's the way I look at it. So when I look at it and say wave 2 is for us to say, okay, how can we begin wave 2? Begin again using the Henry Ford philosophy. How can we begin again more intelligently? Okay? Dig down a little deeper. Okay. Then we had on Monday, we have the Women Who Win event, and I heard from the ladies they still will not let me in, no matter how much we try to put on wigs and high heel shoes and sneak on in there. They still identify us. They won't let us in. But I heard that the house was rocked. I heard that they won't give us specifics, but the ladies came out there 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I tell you that. Okay. And see, while the women were winning, we've got a new thing. Okay. We have the WWW, Women Who Win, the GGG, Guys Go Golfing. And so what we did is we got with the guys while, my wife, Erlene Buggs, was there. And I can tell you this, ladies, you saw it yourself. When I say she puts her heart and her soul and everything into that event. That's what she does. Her whole purpose is to go there and give. She doesn't expect one thing from one person. She's not looking for one thing from anybody who's there. Her whole purpose when she does the Women Who Win is to go there and to give. And when you have that type of purpose, you have an event the way that it was. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it was phenomenal. Guess what? You didn't have to be a diamond to be in that atmosphere. There were people who were very smart. They said, listen, I am going to invite prospects. They can't make it to the weekend, but I'm going to invite them to the Women Who Win. And they invited prospects to the Women Who Win. And guess what the women said? I am in. Whatever you guys do, you start call. I want to be a part of this group. Smartest thing they could have ever done. The people who were working there, who did the fashion show, the lady who put the fashion show, the assistant to the fashion show, who can I find to sponsor me? Because I knew I was going to do a fashion show, and I've done them all over the world, but I've never done them for a group of classier ladies than I have today. And guess what? In the business, it's the atmosphere. It is absolutely infectious. You've got to inundate yourself with that environment. You've got to do that. Guys went golfing. Who went golfing? Superstars again. See, I love me some superstars. See, it doesn't matter. See, people say, well, what about Diamond? Well, Diamond and superstar should automatically go together. You shouldn't have to say, are you a superstar if you're a Diamond? Okay? So we had many of our Diamond golfers who were there. Let me share something with you that was just very, very smart. Okay? We're going golfing. And on the bus, we've got guys dressed up in suits who were consultants and some sapphires dressed up in their dress shoes and stuff like that. And because some people say, oh, I don't golf. You know, if you guys did something else, I'd go, but I don't golf. I'm going to share something with you guys that maybe you don't understand. And I'm not suggesting you do this next year, but let me share something with you here, okay? We had 40 guys. We only had 40 spots, and we filled all 40 spots for this golf course. And most of them were rookies. Most of them had never picked up a golf club in their life, and some of them never picked it up even while they were there. They said, hold on for a second. You mean to tell me I qualify to spend 5-6 hours with Shane Moran, with Holton Buggs? Jose Ardone's going to be there. John Secturis is going to be. Oh, Ivan Tapia is going to be there. Jose Rivas is going to be. You mean to tell me? And guess what? They say, I don't care about the golf. I am going because typically I have to compete with 5,000-6,000 people, and I can only get a 2-second picture or maybe an autograph. But for 7 hours, I can ride in the cart next to them. I can be their caddy, and I can ask questions. I can be on the bus with them. See, those were the people who I know for a fact who've got a PhD. People headed for Diamond because they understand what I don't care. See, let me share something with you. When I was coming up in the business, I didn't care what they were doing. I didn't care if they were going scuba diving. And I don't scuba dive, and I get seasick out in the ocean. Okay? But if I was going to have the opportunity to be around these diamonds, okay, I don't care what I would have had to do. I was going to be there. And so I want you to understand the value of association. You've got to learn the value of association. Those things, you need to have those in your journal. Other things that I believe every single person should have, okay? All of you got to make sure you have your calendar, okay? You got to make sure you have your calendar. Order your calendar from OG University. David Demolitier, he did an incredible training. Crown Diamond, David Demolitier did incredible training on the calendar. How I took a regular at-a-glance calendar. It wasn't the fancy one that we have that have all the things that are in there. It was a regular calendar. I took it, and he took that calendar and went out there and became a multi-millionaire using what I taught him in 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, 30 to 45 minutes. I taught him that, and this was in May of 2009. 2009 in May in Las Vegas, in my hotel suite. He took what I gave him, that one training, and he became a multi-millionaire. We've laid it all out for you. Some of you think it's just for dates. The calendar is not for dates. That's something that you should have multiple of those calendars. If you're planning to build a big business, that means that you're planning for other people to have a big business. See, you can't go diamond being the only leader in your group. You might be able to go ruby. Ruby is a worker's pen. Diamond is a leadership pen. You're going to have to lead others to do the same thing that you're doing, so you've got to be prepared. Okay, you've got to be prepared to do that. People say, well, how in the world did Ivan Topy go black diamond so fast? How did he pass up and from part-time and go black diamond and become $1 million? Because look at how he treats his business. He treats his business like a business. Okay? He treats it like a business. Okay? And so I want to make sure. Now, guys, if let me have maybe I can't say who it is, but Craig, if you can hear me really good, send me a text, Craig or Jared, if you can hear me, because I got a message here that my phone is going in and out, and I want to make sure everybody gets this clearly as I get into a specific training that I want to talk about here. And Cynthia, if you could text me back if you can hear me better now, because I'm on a landline here. Okay, Jared just already texted me. He says I'm good. Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. But those are things that I want you to really understand. You get that calendar, make sure you have it, harness that calendar, and understand what it really is. The next training that I do, I'm going to go through that calendar and I'm going to dissect it, because see, you've got a tool in your hand that is worth a fortune. You just don't understand how to extract it. If you've got work ethic plus a calendar, and you're willing to follow instructions, I can show you how to become very successful in this business here. Okay, and we put it together for a reason. Make sure that you've got that. The third one is make sure that you have the cash cow. I strongly recommend, ladies and gentlemen, in your car, if you're offline or somebody in your team gets in your car, and if you got one of those interchangeable CDs, and you know what, make sure four. If you got a 6 CD changer, 4 of them should be full with the 4 CDs as a cash cow. That's the way it is. Those of you who are listening in on this call and your first language is Spanish, you should have the English version. Don't put the Spanish one in, because let the English version teach you Spanish. How do you think Jose Ardon learned English? How he learned English is he got Les Brown and he got Jim Rohn and all of the motivational speakers that he knew of, and he listened to their tapes, and they taught him how to speak English because there wasn't any versions in Spanish. So let that be your guide. Let that inundate your mindset in terms of a thought process. Okay. But those are the 3 tools that I want. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have the others, but I'm telling you, from a tool standpoint, for a person who's headed for diamond, that's inventory that I should be able to look at and check to see if you have it. And obviously, the other one, you can never have enough of these, and that is the flip chart. You can never have enough of the flip charts. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? You've got to check your inventory and see, are you prepared for where it is that you say that you want to go? See, I can tell you right now, the McDonald's franchise owner who says, listen, I want to make sure that this month we sell, $2 million in food, but only has $100,000 worth of buns, he's delusional. It's not going to happen. If he's not prepared, to have at least $3 million worth of food sales, he won't sell the $2 million. Okay, doesn't mean that he has to spend the $3 million right away, but he's got to be prepared to do it. He's got to be prepared. He's got to have enough. You've got to have enough. You got to get into the business mindset. Okay, get into that business mindset. Now, a couple things I want to go ahead and talk about right now as I get into the second part of this training here, and I wanted I want to make sure that we really focus in on this. You heard me talk about, my addiction to the meetings and my addiction to being around the environment, and we always talk about, normally when we get on stage, we always talk about success principles. We talk about the things that successful people do, and all too often, sometimes it becomes monotonous. It becomes boring to some people. Now, the person that typically becomes boring to is the person who's there time after time and who may not necessarily have any new growth with them. I can tell you how to make the event more effective for you, how to make it better, how to make it more enthusiastic, how to have more passion. Have 6 new legs who wasn't at the previous event. This will be the most exciting event you'll ever attend. The speakers can actually drop the microphone 10 times. They can forget what they were going to say. but it's going to be the best event. Why? Because you've got 6 brand new hot legs at the event. You are in charge of whether the event is great or not. See, the reason everybody came up to me telling me about the event was the greatest they've ever seen, because they had new growth. They had new growth. You know, Deanna and Casey was telling me how awesome this was. This was phenomenal. Well, I can tell you why. You had a new diamond on stage. Okay? You're growing. You're having your biggest month. You're having some exceptional growth. You got all these new people who are attending. Not that the event is not good. The event is great. It's always great to the ones who are growing. Let me tell you who says, man, you know, it's the same old thing. They're going to say, I already know what Holston's going to say. I already know Shane, what he's going to say. He's predictable. He's going to talk. John is going to do this. Dave's going to talk about belief. I already know it. So, you know, don't get too excited because nothing new is going to come. It's that person whose business is going backwards, or it's that person who's not growing. It's that person who has less people here this time than they had the last time. It's the person who hasn't sponsored someone in 90 days or maybe even 6 months or maybe even for the full year. They are not excited. They're not excited. Okay? That's why I always hung around the new growth. That's why I displayed the diamonds, and it says the most important thing that you can be around, the most exciting thing, is a person who has just gone diamond or the person who is in the process of going diamond. There is nothing like it. Nothing. Okay? Nothing like it, ladies and gentlemen. And so I want you to understand that. How do you make the events better for you? How do you make them better for you? Make sure that you have new life at these events, always. Okay? Now let's go ahead and talk about this addiction thing that I was talking about. Me being addicted to these events and why I had to be there, and I still have that addiction. I got to have me a fix. Most people talk about all the positive things. I want to go ahead and do something that's the opposite tonight. I want to talk about not only the addiction to the positives, I want to talk about something that 95% of our society has an addiction to. Okay? 95% of our society is addicted to failing. Okay? See, the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something here, okay? Winning is a habit. Winning is a habit, but so is losing. Losing becomes habitual. Okay? People can get addicted to failure. Okay? People can get addicted to failure. Okay? And this is the thing about it. You know, when you have an addiction, typically when you have an addiction, one of the first signs of addiction is denial. So one of the first signs is you're denying your current set of circumstances. You're denying it. So I want to talk to you tonight, and I'm going to give you some things here, and I'm going to talk about failure here for a moment. I'm going to give you some ideas to take a look at to see how, you know, and what am I addicted to? Am I addicted to winning, or am I addicted to failure? I'm going to give you both sides of the coin. I'm going to give you 10 key identifiers so that you'll know whether or not you're addicted to failure or you're addicted to winning. For a long time, I was addicted to failure and didn't even know. I thought because I wanted to win that I was addicted to winning. Okay? Think about it. How many people that you know of who are addicted to smoking cigarettes want to stop smoking? Well, all of them want to stop smoking, most of them. Okay? But they're addicted. They can't. They can, but they can't, if you know what I mean. Okay? And maybe that's you on this call or whatever it is, but it's the same thing. We all have an addiction to something. We all have an addiction to something that may not necessarily be good for us. And I can tell you, failure, being addicted to failure, certainly is not good for you in any respect here. One of the first signs of being addicted to failure is that you have an addiction to the approval of other people. Okay? You have an addiction to the approval of other people. See, I call it being SNIOPS, having a case of the SNIOPS, susceptible to the negative influences of other people. SNIOPS. Okay? You're addicted to their approval. When it's time to make an important decision, Instead of you trusting on your own intuition, instead of you trusting on you and trusting on your advice, what happens is you seek the advice and the approval of others, and those that don't necessarily have the skill sets that are more superior to you, but because you don't trust you lean on somebody else to make the decision for you, and it ends up leading you to failure. Why? Because typically you depend on people who've got no skin in the game to make a decision for you. You know, hey, I just got involved in this thing called Organo Gold, is network marketing. And, Uncle Bob, tell me what you think about this, because I wasn't so sure. And I know you've been teaching school for 40 years, so you've got to be highly intelligent. So Uncle Bob, tell me, can I become financially independent doing this? Now, Uncle Bob, if he knew it all, he probably wouldn't be teaching school, okay? But because you mistake Uncle Bob's 40 years of doing something for intelligence about your business, you're going to depend on Uncle Bob's decision when Uncle Bob didn't even attend the presentation. Now, all of you on this call never made that decision because you're a distributor, so you decided to get involved and you're here. I'm giving you this example because I want you to be able to identify not only when you are going through the symptoms of addiction to failure, but when other people are around you, okay, who are doing it. But you can't value other people's opinions more than you value your own. See, successful people are very particular about those advice that they ask for. Okay, successful people find somebody who's in the process further than them, or who has completed what it is they want to do. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to ask a network marketer. What you must ask, you must go to somebody who has succeeded in business, somebody who has succeeded in leading a voluntary army, somebody who exemplifies the skills of leadership that demonstrates some of the things that you're going to have to become in order to be successful, and say, hey, listen, tell me what your thought process is. Here is what my thoughts are. This is the decision that I am looking to make. Tell me, am I going about this the right way? Let me share something with you about very successful people also. This is the key ingredient I want you to understand. Very successful people very seldom tell you or give you advice on what to do. Most people think, okay, well, I go to Holson for advice and he'll tell me what to do. No, it don't work that way. I don't tell people what to do. Sometimes they ask me, but I never tell anybody what to do. All I do is I give them parameters and how they should think about what they're about to do. It's up to them to make the decision. Why? Because, see, when I give them advice and say, this is what you should do, when it doesn't turn out right, I'm the blame. Successful people very seldom say, hey, listen, this is what you need to do. You need to, no, don't get involved. Yep, get involved. No, successful people say, hey, listen, tell me what your goals are. What do you want to accomplish? Do you have a work ethic? Blah, blah, blah. Network marketing is two sides of it. There's successful people, there's people who are not successful, just like any other business. But you have to decide whether you're going to do what it takes. Now, hey, listen, if you become number one in something else, what's the payoff? If you become number one in network marketing, what's the payoff? Well, now you got to determine which kind of payoff do you want if you're willing to be number one. If you're going to be average, you know what? Here's a lifestyle of somebody who's average. Maybe if you're going to be an engineer, here's a lifestyle of somebody who's an average income diamond. Which one do you want to be average in? You want to be an average engineer? It's going to have to go to school 4 or 5 years. You're going to be an average diamond? You can do it in 18 months. Okay? Do a little bit longer, take off, become an average diamond. Which lifestyle do you want? Now you make your decision. Okay? That's typically how successful people will give you advice. Now, they will give you instruction on certain technical things, but in terms of advice, no. In order for you to become a leader, you've got to learn to gather enough information and then make a decision. And guess what? When you make your decision, stick with your decision. Successful people make a decision and hold on to it, and they make it right. Unsuccessful people, they waffle back and forwards on decision, okay? And when they make one, they always go back and forward, and they're very slow to make those decisions. So become a successful people. Don't get addicted to failure. Do not become addicted to the opinions of other people. Do not get snide. Number 2, okay? You entertain yourself instead of educating yourself. I want to talk about this for a moment. You entertain yourself instead of educate yourself. This is a person who is addicted to failing. What do I mean by that? Most of us, I forgot what the study showed. The study showed how many hours of television a person watches on a daily basis. I think it's about 3.5 hours of TV the average person, watches on a daily basis. But they'll do 3.5 hours of entertainment for themselves because they want to feed what I call the pleasure valve. See, there's a difference between happiness and pleasure. Pleasure is temporary. Happiness can be eternal. Pleasure is temporary. I'll watch the TV today. I'll watch television today, okay? Because I want to please myself, okay? I want to please myself. I want that short-term pleasure. Long-term happiness, I'm going to shut this television off. I know there's a program that's on. I know Kevin Durant and such is coming on. But you know what? I really need to read. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll watch the game. But halftime, they're going to have a 30-minute halftime. Let me go and listen to an audio tape. Let me listen to CD1 of the Cash Cow. Let me go ahead and read maybe a chapter during halftime. Okay? See, successful people understand the priority of time. Unsuccessful people who are addicted to failure, they don't understand the value of time. Therefore, what they do is they invest the majority of their time. I don't want to say invest. They spend most of their time entertaining themselves versus educating themselves. I had a philosophy as I was coming up into the business, and that was if I was sitting, I was reading, and if I was driving, I was listening. What does that mean? That means anytime I'm sitting, if I was in the restroom, at the toilet, if I was sitting in my couch, wherever it was, I was going to be reading a book. I was going to be studying a chapter. If I was in a car, I was going to be listening to a tape. The radio did not exist. I had no knowledge of what the new songs were. I had no knowledge of that whatsoever. Let me give you another cue here. I was playing golf, and in my foursome, we had Rod Smith that was in my foursome. We had Edward Hartley. We had Emmanuel Bernstein and myself as we played golf the other day. And you know what? We played horribly. All four of us played horribly. Okay. And I remember way back when, years ago, I played horribly all the time. They played pretty decent back then. Now, and it's because I've never been just this great golfer anyway. But one of the things I said, I'll never forget, I said, well, guys, I can tell you this. I can tell by the way we're playing that everybody's showing the plan here. Because I can tell you guys are not having a great time playing a lot of golf because you're out there in the trenches. Because if you're playing a lot of golf, you'd be shooting better than what you shoot. That means you're out there working the business. Why? Because they're out there educating themselves and working on their future. I'm not saying that you can't have fun to play golf. They've earned it. Many of those blue diamonds and diamonds, they have actually earned it, okay? But they are addicted to growing. They are addicted to growing. And so that's one of the things that you have to take a look at. Am I entertaining myself? Okay? Or am I educating myself? All right? Am I entertaining myself? Am I educating myself? Do you understand your business? Do you understand your craft? Now, let me share something with you. I tell people you don't have to study network marketing. Network marketing is very simple, but you do have to understand what it is that you're doing. See, the biggest component to your success or the biggest component to your failure is you. You are the common denominator between why the failures in your life have come and why the successes in your life have come. It's you. It's no one else. It is you. And so, number 3, the people who are addicted to failure spend more time entertaining themselves, and the people who are addicted to success invest more time educating themselves. My question for you, what's the latest book that you've read? What's the latest chapter that you've studied? What's the latest cassette tape, or I can't say that, that's a bad word these days. What's the latest download or CD that you've listened to, or audio that you've listened to, or audio book that you've listened to? Now, does this mean that your life has to be 100% on personal growth? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Don't think just because you're a 24-hour or 26-hour a day audio tape listening person that you're going diamond any faster. No, doesn't mean that at all. No, doesn't mean that at all. Because I want to also give a distinct difference. There is a difference between personal development and personal development education. I would venture to say that the majority of the people that I know of who think that they're into personal development, they're into personal development education, which means that you will gain the knowledge of the stories and the experiences of those books that you're reading and the tapes. You can regurgitate the information because you have listened and you put it up there in your temporary learning capacity, whereas you can repeat it, but you don't live it. You don't live it. This is the same thing, and many of my diamonds know I get on them all the time. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I got on the entire group there, and I said, guys, stop being these Facebook philosophers. Stop being Facebook philosophers, because what you're doing is you're letting the world know that you don't practice what you preach. You're not attracting successful people. You're only attracting those people who are just like you. Those people who have what I call the educational facade. Now, I'm not trying to put you down or whatever it is, but I'm here to tell you the real truth. I'm here to tell you the real truth, okay? Because personal development means I read, I study this particular chapter. Whatever the instructions were from this chapter or this series of reading, I immediately implement within the first 24 hours after reading it. That is personal development. Personal development education is, oh, guess what? I read 3 books this week. You can't remember even one chapter. That's what chapter 9 is. You couldn't tell me. You didn't personally grow. You got educated. And it's all set up there in your temporary storage, and you're not necessarily educating yourself, okay? Developing. You're educating yourself, okay? Now, remember this. This is what I want you to understand, okay? When you educate yourself and you over-educate, you start to become what I call a professor. I want you to name a professor that has a lifestyle of a diamond. Professors don't make a lot of money, okay? So stop becoming what I call the personal development professor or the MLM professor, okay? You may be building your ego, but you're not building your bank account. Go out there and develop. Go out there and become what it is that you're posting before you post it, and watch what happens to your lifestyle, okay? See, this is the thing I want you to understand. People are not going to follow or like your stuff just because you sound profound. No, they're going to like your stuff because you are what you are tweeting about or what you're posting about. Okay. Now, I know I'm taking away some of the pastime of a lot of the people that's out there, but one of the other philosophies that I'm going to tie into this as well is that successful people, all right, when I talk about addicted to failure, addiction to success, okay, successful people don't live their lives on social media unless they're making a fortune from social media. I want you to understand, stop saying you have an internet business, because I do not have an internet business. I have a traditional business that is supported by the internet. I do not have an internet-based business. That's not what we have here. We have a business. I sell coffee. There is nothing internet about me shaking the hand of my neighbor saying, do you or anybody you know drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? How do you drink it? Black or cream and sugar? Who's your favorite brand? And when's the last time they paid you? The internet doesn't do that for me. I don't send emails with the 4 questions. I personally do it. That is belly to belly, face to face, traditional marketing. Now, when I get that product, it's because I place an order on the internet. The commissions are registered on the internet. I'm able to track the volume of my business on the internet. I do not have an internet-based business. I have a traditional business that is supported by the internet. Okay? And so for those of you who think, well, I make my money on the internet, so I'm doing all this. No. I can tell you right now, the person who's in the this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back and look at the diamonds who just went diamond. Find them on Facebook. See what they were posting. See were they posting philosophy, or see were they posting pictures of CJMs, or see whether they were posting at all. I want you to go to John Securus. I want you to go to David Emanitier. I want you to go to Christian Steinkeller. I want you to go to Jose Ardone's Facebook page right now, or Instagram. See how many messages they put out. See how much philosophy are they giving. Okay. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that, but I do want to be real with you. Okay. Oprah has made billions from people watching her on television. Ask her how much television she watches. Okay. Ask her, Oprah, how much TV do you watch? Do you get on and watch the Rosie O'Donnell or the Phil, whoever the guy was? I don't know his name, but you know what I'm talking about, or the Springer dude. How many episodes of him have you watched, Oprah? Because you made your fortune from TV, so I know you must watch a lot of it. You got to be a product of the product, right? No, that's her business, giving entertainment. You have sat there and watched her and help her create the billions. I'm not against Oprah or whatever. I'm a big supporter of her, but I want you to understand there is a distinct difference here. Okay. Now, if you know you're not going to build the business and you want to have social time and you want to be able to look back and see all the things that you said, then you need to keep on doing it. But if you are real serious and if you want to join the elite, if you want to join this 2% that I'm talking about, and be there with us on the beaches of the world, you need to check with how you're living your life. Successful people don't live their life and their existence through social media. Okay. I know some of you probably say, "Oh, Holton, you're old school," and I know you came up with cassette tapes or reel-to-reel and 8-track, and this is a new world, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to go and read the article that's in the Right Now magazine that I wrote. Okay, read the article in the Right Now magazine that I wrote. Okay, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to give it to you real. I'm going to give it to you raw. I'm going to give it to you 100% with no chaser. Why? Because as we go through what we call wave 2, okay, that's the way it is. I got to give it to you unapologetically. Okay. And my question is this: I want you to go, and it's not me touting about my success or Shane touting about his success. Go find 2 people who are successful in networking, and what your vocation is today. Go find 2 people who are more successful than me and Shane, and go see, will they give you the same advice? Well, first of all, you can't find them. Okay, go to Dexter Yeager's Facebook page, see if he even has one, see what he's talking about. And he's not out there building the business right now, but I know he's a big dreamer. Okay? See if he's out there dropping philosophy. Now, if he's dropping it, guess what? It's worth listening to when you got a person who makes $1 million every 17 hours. I want to hear his stuff. Okay? See if Bill Gates is dropping the knowledge that you're dropping. Okay? And so remember, learn. There is a difference between personal development education and personal development. Personal development, we will see it in your result. Personal development education, we'll see it in your postings. Okay? Number 4 here. Number 3, people who are addicted to failure. Okay, and I know I'm gonna have to be wrapping this call up because we got the Spanish one that's going to be coming up. People who are addicted to failures, what they do is they blame other people. Okay, they blame other people for their circumstances. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this here. I'm going to do a part 1 and I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to get through the first 5 on this call, and I'll do next Sunday's call, and I'll rehash these here. But what I'll do is I'll finish up the next 5 and end this thing with a bang. So I'll do them back to back. Okay. But what failure? People who are addicted to failure, they blame other people for their circumstances. Okay. Well, you know what? If it wasn't for my sponsor, if it wasn't for my son, if it wasn't for my upline, if it wasn't for my, this guy here, he cut me off, and so it's his fault that I ran into this other lady. No, it's your fault. You didn't get your brakes fixed. But they blaming everybody else. See, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, in your failures and in your successes, there's one person who's always there. It's you. People who are addicted, they always cast the blame. See, the victim casts the blame. The leader looks for the solution. How can I solve this? What can I do to solve this? Okay, because that person who's always blaming somebody else, they're not satisfied where they are in life, but they have a perfect explanation for where they are. Oh yeah, see, I know I didn't hit my goals. Let me share with you why. See, I had ordered the show special. I ordered it way back in March, and see, I had a plan that I was going to have brew cups all over the world. See, I've got 45,000 customers lined up right now, but see, OG didn't send my brew cup special, and because I didn't get my brew cup special, I couldn't go do the 4 questions. Because I couldn't do the 4 questions, I couldn't sponsor people, and so that means I couldn't go out and do any additional volume. So that's why I only did 99 points this month. That's why I only had 6 people join my team this month. Because, see, OG didn't send my show special. See, they got a perfect explanation for where they are. Let me share something with y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I ordered 3 show specials. I'm the VP of sales in a company. I have yet to receive one of them. I have yet to receive one of them. Okay? But let me share with you the difference between people who are addicted to failure, people who are addicted to success. People who are addicted to failure will use it as an excuse to quit. They use circumstances that are not favorable as a reason to permanently stop their dream. The way I looked at it, I said, well, you know, they hadn't sent it to me, but I still got to keep building the business. I trust this company, so I know that they will not intentionally not send me the product. If they haven't sent it to me, there must be a challenge or an issue or something that they have to overcome or whatever it is. Now, obviously, I'm the VP of sales, and I know those reasons, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I understand and I trust. Let me go out and do what I got to do. I can't control it anyway. Do you think because you huff and puff, you're going to get it sooner? No. No, you're not. Hey, yeah, I pre-ordered it just like everybody else did. Well, Holton, you don't have my financial situation. See, here you are again, blaming somebody else. You've got a perfect excuse for your negativity. You cannot live life successfully that way. You have to take personal responsibility for where you are. You've got to do it. When you go to a shopping mall and you're in foreign territory, you've never been to this mall. You want to go out and you want to find the Gucci store. You want to find JCPenney's or whatever store that you want to find. You look at the map that they have, and there's a map that has a red dot on it. That's the most important dot that's on the map, and it says you are here. That means this is where you are. You've got to take responsibility for where you are, because if you don't take responsibility for that red dot, you can't get to where you want to go. You've got to take personal responsibility. People who are addicted to failure, they're also addicted to blaming others for their own circumstances. Number 4, you're afraid of making mistakes. Those who are addicted to failure, they're also addicted to inactivity, because I'm going to make a mistake. That is fear of failure, and fear of failure is no different than the addiction to failure. Those who are, whatever you're afraid of is what you're addicted to. You're afraid of failure, that's why you're failing. Okay? And so you've got to go out there and do it. Stop saying, well, when I go ahead and practice, then I'm going to show the plan. Well, use your plan to practice. I don't care who you show it to. Okay? You know, I don't care who you show it to, but just show the plan. Okay? Show the plan. Okay? Am I back with you guys now? I got another message that you guys are losing me. I think I'm walking out of range. You know, when I'm doing these calls, I'm actually out here in the backyard in the pool, and I'm actually pacing the entire area over here. So I'm walking out of my area. But Jared, let me know if you can hear me good now. Or Van, let me know if you. Let's see here. Okay, they can hear me now. Great. Okay? So the thing you got to do is this, guys. You got to get out there and do it. Okay? You got to, like I said, failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. So that means go ahead and make some mistakes now. Fill that calendar up right now. Fill it up right now. Make it look messy. You heard Deanna and I think or Casey, one of them, said they saw David's calendar and they want their calendar to look messy too. Or it may have been the Titus. I don't know who said it, but that's what they wanted. That's what they did. Okay? Stop. You cannot be afraid of making mistakes. You can't be afraid of making mistakes whatsoever. You know, I can tell you here, I had Jeff and Lisa Gilmova, some of our new diamonds that we have. You know, one of the things I love about Jeff is that Jeff's going to go out there and do it. Then he's going to come back and say, hey, did I do it right? He's not going to say, okay, well, teach me how to do it right, then I'll go do it. No, he goes out there, and I got to reel him in sometimes. Me and Barry got to reel him. Hey, Jeff, come on back here, cowboy. Let me show you how to do it right. But we never ostracize him for acting, because at least he's going to do something. Go do something, okay? Go out there and do something. But the person who really gets no attention is the person who's sitting there saying, hey, I didn't make any mistakes. No, you didn't. It's because you didn't do anything. We can't guide that. See, this is the thing. Your upline cannot steer a parked car. Your upline cannot steer a parked car. Go out there and do something, okay? And do something, okay? So you got to make some things happen here, okay? And I'm getting calls now, people saying that they got knocked off the call. Somebody send me a text if you're still on the call. Make sure this line is still live, making sure I'm not talking to myself here. I think this is some good stuff here tonight. But anyway, You're blaming you're blaming everybody else in your circumstances. You're afraid to make your own make mistakes. And the thing I want you to understand is you just got to go out there and do it. Okay, you put off decisions because you're afraid of making the wrong one. Let me share something with you about making decisions. I don't believe in making the right decision. I tell people all the time, don't worry about making the right decision. There is no such thing as making the right decision. There is only one thing. Thanks, Ramon Sosa. I got you. Appreciate that. Make a decision and then make that decision the right one. See, people say this is what people thought. People said, Holton, you made the wrong decision when you came to Organo Gold. This company's got no money. They're out of product. They don't even have a website. They're not even registered right. You made the wrong decision. I'm like, guys, you don't understand. I have a different philosophy. I don't believe in making the right decision or the wrong one. I made a decision. Now it's up to me. It's what I do later on that's going to validate whether my decision was the right one. I'm going to always make sure I make the right decision. But it's not until later on that I get to say whether or not it's right. The main thing is I made a decision when I got married. I got married at a very young age. Early I got married. We started dating when she was 12. I was 13. I was head over heels in love, and I went off to college. And my family says, "You're going to forget. You're going to be a college jock, and you're going to have." No, that's not what I wanted. And when I got, you need to go out and have more experience. You're making the wrong decision. Nope, I'm making a decision. And you know what I did? I've lived now for the last, in terms of marriage, I've lived now for the last 20 plus years, 23 years, making it right, making it the right decision. Okay? Why? So it doesn't matter what happened. I have no regrets because I make my decisions right later on. Stop thinking that life is like a what do you call those things? The little ball that the little future ball, whatever they call that thing, that you look into the crystal ball and everything. No, that's not life. Make a decision, and then you form your crystal ball later on. See, my crystal ball, I look through it, and it shows all of my successes because I made a decision and I made it right. Stop being afraid of making decisions. You got to make them. Number 5, I'll end with number 5, and I'll pick up on 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on next week. And number 5 is this here. One of the ways that people become addicted to failure or identifier of being addicted to failure, okay? One of the keys of being addicted to failure is that people stay in relationships that are obviously not working.
Right, I'll finish it there, guys, because I've fantastic content again from Morton there. Just written some more notes down, and I think the key, what we've got from there is, let's focus on building a foundation. Do that through the 4 steps and be willing to sprint at this. You know what I mean? The numbers are in his favor right now. And I just want to stress the importance of the event coming up this weekend. Steve Martin is coming in Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So if you've not got your tickets, make sure you book those. Friday at the Wheatsheaf in Castleford, Saturday and Sunday at the Village South Leeds, Headingley. So make sure that you're not Headingley, sorry, Village South Leeds. So make sure you're there. Make sure you're there with guests, and let's make that an event to remember, okay? Aiming for 50 plus people there. I want to make it something that really kicks us off as a group. And that's it. I don't want to keep it any more longer than we need to right there. Let's make sure we have a big week. Check out the new promotion regarding the cruise. Just some more incentive to go out and build. Have a big week and get plenty of home events in. I'm starting the week off tomorrow with a home event, and I hope you all do too. So, guys, good night. Thank you for taking the time out.